Hey guys, Chris Dunn here, aka the Boogie Man. I hope you guys enjoyed our little Halloween treat that we gave you guys last week. Wait till Christmas time, it'll be even better. I promised you guys last week we had some off the chain, crazy ass, exciting news. It's kind of been on the down low and we're kind of gonna go ahead and let it out, at least here on the YouTube channel. I hope you're sitting down. In fact, I hope you're holding on to something, because this news right here is so badass, it is gonna put you on your ass. The news is, we're back, baby, at the Southeast Gassers Association, the SEGA. If anybody knows the history of this car and is a fan, that's where we started about 5 years ago, and we've took the last couple of years off, and now we're back, and you know, it's a good racing organization. It's hardcore racing. I mean, right now, they got the most competitive heads-up gasser series going on, and that's what we built this car for. We built this car to fight against the best, because in my opinion, it's still one of the best they are. And we got a long way to go now. Them boys, listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, they way ahead of us. But anybody that knows me, the people associated with this car, we will be nipping on their heels before no time. To get into what we did, we just went into some testing. We went yesterday and we had an awesome first test session, first pass. You're gonna enjoy it. Good burnout, good launch, car reacted good, and I ain't been in a car in a year and I acted good. So enjoy it and check it out. What's the deal, babe? Okay guys, I hope you just enjoyed that first pass. That's the first pass back in the drag car after a whole year. I'm a little rusty, bear with me on my shifting, on my burnouts, and you know, just everything. It's gonna take a little while to get back in the groove of these cars. A 4-speed car, and when you're using the clutch, it's very hard. A lot of people think this is easy, but it's a routine that you have to get back into to get your shift points smooth and everything. It don't happen overnight. It's just not knocking on the automatic guys, but you just don't get in, hit a button and hold on. I mean, you drive these cars now. I mean, you got to drive and hold on. So, you know, we had fun yesterday doing some testing. The first pass, like I said, was a textbook pass, but way off the mark. The second pass might have got a little bit more dicey. They had prepped the track yesterday for a radial race that they had going on, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, these cars don't like a radial prep track. They just don't. They hit so hard anyway that it'll literally just shake the tires on the car. You'll go into some violent tire shake. So on our second pass yesterday, when we launched, you'll be able to see this in the footage coming up right after this, that the tires shook so bad it just shook the car. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I got in such a hurry last week that I didn't tighten the bolt up in the linkage it hooks to the clutch. And it literally fell out. When I went to stab second gear, it fell out. I crunched the transmission and I had to limp it on back and we tore it up. That's racing. That's on me in a hurry last week. You know, we got the car up on Jackson, as you see. We're gonna turn this back around, fix it this week, and then we're going back Friday night to test before the big SEGA race on Saturday at Shadyside Dragway in Shelby, North Carolina on November the 7th. So if you're around that area, stop in, check it out. It's a good drag race and you'll enjoy it. I'm gonna take a minute and explain these red shoes I got on and what these red shoes mean. I've not wore these shoes in over a year. Back when I started driving at the SEG back in 2016, I had bought me a pair of red Vans. Don't ask me why, I just thought they looked cool, and I started wearing them when I drove. When I'd go test, I would wear the same shoes. When I would race, I'd wear the same shoes, and it was these red Vans. They got to nicknaming the shoes, one of the guys that went to the race with me called them my fire feet. I don't know how to explain it, I'm superstitious. I got my fire feet back on. So yesterday, after a year, the last time I raced last year a race, I had to have my fire feet on. I put this out on Facebook a couple of days ago about I pulled my red shoes out and blew the dust off of them, and I'm getting a little slack from some of the old, the A-gas drivers over to SEG, like, we ain't scared of them red shoes, but they really are. They can say they ain't scared, but when I pull these bastards out, shit's getting serious, and they know it, and that's fine. It's all fun and games, but the story behind it, like I said, is a guy that used to go with me to the races nicknamed them my fire feet. I don't wear these things unless I'm racing, or if you come to the track and never see me testing, I will have these red shoes on. They stay in the car. That's when I put them on, except for right now I've got them on to explain to you. You'll always notice me by my red Vans. I hope you enjoy following us this coming year. We're going to race one more race this year with SEGA, and then we're going to be off for the wintertime, unfortunately, but we're going to start back next year. And you guys are going to get to go with us, and I hope you enjoy it. We're going to give you a different side of this, though. We're going to show you the struggle we go through to even get to the race, to compete at the race, and hopefully win the race. You may see other videos where you see the racing and the winning or the losing, but you don't see the struggles it takes to get there. There's a lot of work goes into this car just to get it prepped for race day. There's a lot of work that goes in this car during race day. And it ain't just me. All these drivers do the same thing. I mean, if you're going to win, races are won right here. I'm going to tell you what. When I built this car, y'all have heard the story, Mitch Stott drove this car. And he gave me some of the best advice that I'd ever heard. He went out and won in his car the very first race. And then he went out and he won in it again the second race. And then the next year, I started driving the car. I'd never dragged a race before, had my fire feet on, And the next year in 2016, being my rookie year of not just driving a gasser, driving a drag car, period. I had to learn in a 5-second car. That's unheard of, to crawl into a 5.5-second car and learn how to drag race. A 4-speed car on top of that. But I'm glad that I did, because this thing's a fight all the way down the track, and that's what makes it exciting, and that's what gives you a driving ability. Going back to what I was saying is, Mitch told me one time, I said, Mitch, why do you think we're doing it? He said, Chris, because you're putting the work in at the shop. He said, I don't care who you are and how good a driver you are. If you do not put the work into these cars or any race car in the shop, he said, races are won in the shop. The byproduct is to win at the race, but if you don't put the work into the shop in your car, you're not going to win rounds, and you're not going to win races. I try to tell people all the time, don't go out here and think you just bought you some horsepower and you're going to go win a race. That ain't how it works. Or you just went and bought you a high-dollar car and say, oh, I'm going to go win races. No, you got to work, man. It's all working. It's them hours that you slaving away in the shop for the, say, 5 hours of enjoyment if you go all rounds and win the race that you got that day. But that's the struggle, and the struggle of what makes this thing great. I won in 17, the first Shadyside race in 2017 at the SEGA. We literally showed up, had put the engine in the car 2 days before, didn't get it running until 4 o'clock in the morning Thursday morning. And for me to go test Friday night prior to the race at the track, I hadn't even been in a car in a year. Work, dedication, and the guys that helped me, would you believe we walked this car literally through a 5-round race and we won the race. And we was like the number 6 qualifier. Point being, don't ever give up. Round by round, fight your ass off for every round of racing that you win, because at the end of the day, you might win the whole damn race. Chris Dunn, AKA the Boogie Man.